What's up, Winter World? It's your boy Sway from MTV News. The weather is cold. The game's non-existent. The intrigue off the charts. It all adds up to us being back for episode 37 of Knifey Lion Radio. The hole in your heart during our absence proves that indeed we are the gift. My name is Jonah. Join the other 500 plus beams of joy and follow Knifey Lion Radio on Twitter. Also, subscribe to the Knifey Lion Radio YouTube channel. We've done 2 live streams so far. One pretty weak episode, to be honest, and the other a rebranding masterclass that was loved the world over. So subscribe so you get notified when we take this baby live. Joining me today, the man who took more than a decade to convince my mother, no, I'm really not eating meat on Thanksgiving as well. The scuffed wood restoration sensation, Zach.
Good day.
I've got here in my notes a question. Zach, have you enjoyed your time off?
Well, it's only been 1 week, but yeah, it was great.
Not from the podcast. You're counting the stream.
I'm counting the stream.
It was a whole other world.
Yeah, it's been great. I more see it as time off from Nick.
We all need a little bit of that. Not joining us. Didn't really give him a heads up. Nick from soccer. Chad.
He's probably at the Bengals game, I imagine.
Yeah, this is a little earlier. First quarter of the Bengals game, 14-0. Browns, things looking grim. Today, we'll very briefly put the final bow on the team's rebrand. You guys still want to talk about that, right? If you remember, our live stream happened after the logo leaked, but before the official event. Then, we check in with the roster in a segment we shall call...
Are you in or are you out?
Nice. I'll drop an interesting tidbit in a very short...
FCC Inside Source.
And then we'll check in with a few of our players, possibly former players, off-season adventures in FCC players. They're just like us! Finally, yeah, still going. We'll talk about the rest of the minorly important FCC news in
Potpourri.
I hope everyone had a lovely Thanksgiving. My only relative who might have had a hot take about things like the migrant caravan lives hundreds of miles away. So it was all blue wavy gravy at my dinner table. Good time. But for those of you who are stuck with racist Uncle Joe, take shelter in the John Hark's Cave of Wonders. We started a fire. It's warm. Zach, are you glad good old Uncle Cap doesn't fly in for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I'm
He's
very
probably
glad.
not listening.
He's not. No, I don't think I'd go. But I will say, in your blue wave of gravy, I don't consider myself a Democrat. But
He's just being modest.
far too left for that.
You can get into the hot takes when we talk about Nazmi and Palestine. But
No, I'm glad we don't have our Uncle Cap in. He, when our grandfather died last year, he dropped the some birther shit on us about Obama. I had never met a real birther in real life. It was interesting.
yeah, he's still convinced they haven't found the real birth certificate. Today's KLR, while I'm moving on, is sponsored by Speedway. With Thanksgiving over, the countdown to Christmas has truly begun. With so much on your to-buy list, why not simplify things with Speedway? Toddlers to tweens will love anything you grab from the candy aisle, or a light-up keychain by the checkout counter. A Speedy Freeze might not stay ice cold, but it certainly won't go bad. So give mom something much sweeter than a framed picture of the fam. Hold on, and if Pops is jealous watching her slurp down 44 ounces of room temperature Speedy Freeze, it won't last long, because Black and Milds and Scratch Offs will keep him occupied till New Year's. Grandma will love the bottled water, and a $5 gift card will satisfy who's ever left on your list. One-stop Christmas shopping so you can spend way more time with the eggnog and less time at Lazarus and Parisian. It must be Speedway. Zach?
I was just thinking, my kid wants an electric guitar, but he's getting some sketchy male enhancement pills instead.
He should know better. If it's not at Speedway, you're not getting it, son. But first, because I just can't get enough, it's the branding event recap. Let's beat a dead horse one last time. Zach, did you watch the live stream, first of all?
No.
Okay.
I was at work.
It was in the evening.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I talked about that, and you told me it was at 6. No,
So there's no real reason.
no real reason. I probably was fathering, but
So, festive atmosphere, some downtrodden looking dying schlogs, and some happy Prid members, Prid North. Most importantly was the video that Tommy G's crew put together for the reveal.
I did see that.
Yeah, I was looking forward to spotting myself. You know, we filmed us marching dozens of times all across downtown. They ended up using about 5 seconds worth. My appearances were brief. I was slightly disappointed. The big takeaway from the evening were obviously the Gary thing had really taken off that morning. People were chanting the top of their lungs for Gary. Jeff did not seem totally stoked on it. Zach, what do you think? You think Jeff's down with Gary, or he's just along for the ride, or he's like just confused like his boss Carl is?
He was probably confused and didn't know if there was a hidden meaning behind it, and then he doesn't want to play along and then find out like, oh, Gary's actually
a famous pedophile.
A serial rapist and resembled this knifey lion.
Well, the origin is a bit mysterious, so there's no way to know for sure that's not true. I noticed Carl Lindner, you missed this act. I don't know if you ever watched the event back. Carl Lindner gave a speech, as he does. They let him out of his cryogenic freezer and right in the, I don't know what he said, but he's something blah 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 blah, and he let out the most generic, I'm fist pumping now but you can't see me. He did this fist bump, and I was thinking to myself, there's no way that wasn't in his script, that in parentheses it said excited fist bump. It just seemed like he was really, I don't think he's ever done one of those in his life that wasn't foretold beforehand. Also important, I was mingling with my fellow media members. Zach, you missed out on Pat Brennan, Charlie Hatch, Laura Falfer. Apologies, Laura. I just call you the Big L. Steck, Lindsay Patterson was right behind me, probably looking at me. All of them were too scared to approach me in public, which was weird. Zach, would you have approached any of our colleagues, or would you just let them go about their business? Pat Brennan wearing plaid shirt and a tan vest. Puffy vest. Very interesting. Not what I would have expected, because I always see him in a suit when he's next to Lindsay.
Yeah, I could see myself going up to him saying, "Hey, cool vest, man."
I think he'd say, "Hey, cool it." He'd say, "Cool it with what?" Like,
Yeah,
just cool what you're doing.
You know what I'm talking about.
But that was that. I mean, really, what else do you want me to say? You probably didn't want me to say anything to begin with. After it was over, they it seemed like the whole purpose of it, they herded us upstairs. They said, we have merch available, and like the lemmings we are, we all filed upstairs to get merchandise that we would have been able to buy the following day anywhere else. But
no, the worst part about that unveiling, I did watch the was it a different video where the guy is saying like the mane on the lion represents the 7 hills of Cincinnati.
Yeah, the two Interbrand guys came up, and
that was brutal.
They had a rough couple days because their baby leaked, and I'd say at least more than half of the response was probably from tepid to angry.
I will say, I don't think a crest needs to represent the city, just the team, so I don't care about anyone's complaints about it.
But next week when we do the branding podcast number 3, we're going to really get into the minutia of people's feelings.
Can't wait.
It'll be something special. But let's move away from the logo once and for all. I will say the merchandise so far has been pretty lacking. I like the logo, but I think it kind of looks dumb on shirts. It's kind of unfortunate because it looks like a Superman shirt.
The Target shirt is maybe the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I think it's fucking fantastic.
No, Bengals still suck. But yeah, if you haven't seen that, look up the Target, or just go to your local Target and look at a shirt that you might buy for your out-of-town grandparent.
Well, definitely a bunch of people are getting that for Christmas.
I know.
Because people are going to be at Target shopping. They're like, oh, Teddy likes FC Cincinnati. I'm going to buy this Eastern Conference shirt with whatever the fucking font that is.
No one's more excited than Meyer because they're like, wow, we can't do worse than this. But let's move on for our new segment, which will probably be going on until the season starts. And that is...
Are you in or are you out?
I did decide that this Bengals-Browns game was where I decide if I'll keep paying attention for the rest of the year. So far, it looks like I might have some free Sundays on my hand. Well, folks, not a lot has happened, but one thing has happened, and we re-signed Corbin Bone. Zach, you've been the biggest Corbin Bone hater all year when Nick's not doing the hating. How do you feel, Corbin? We think we knew. We definitely knew. But now it's official. It's the first official not counting the MLS people who were already signed. It's the first official signing for FC Cincinnati.
Ledesma.
That hasn't been announced by the club.
True. Interesting.
Yeah, this is the only one. But how do you feel about it?
Good.
You feel good?
Yeah, I do feel good. And I would probably start him and see how it goes.
I feel like he might. So Corbin's in. As for out, Kenny Walker not coming back. I mean, we're 99.9% sure. Nobody can just fucking come out and say exactly what they're saying. They just, kind of beat around the bush. I won't read the whole thing, but it kind of sounded like past tense. And everyone's assuming. Not just me. Not even assuming. It basically sounded like a farewell. But he didn't say he was retiring. Zach, you think this is the last we've seen of Kenny Walker? Or will he be suiting up for the Louisville Losers next season?
Will they take him?
Well, I'm just saying they usually take the people we think aren't very good for us. And like, wow, Kenny had a lot left in the tank. He's dominating.
I don't think he'll retire, no.
No, he didn't say that at least. So Kenny Walker's out. Danny Koenig. Finally officially out. He spoke. Some people were upset they didn't get the whole story as why he had to leave. Some angry Redditors were mad about people who do know and holding it over their heads. Like me. I know. And here I am, holding it over your head. And I'll never tell you exactly why Danny Koenig had to go.
Hey, I know too. And I won't tell.
Guess what? I'm telling pretty much everyone except for you, fair listener. Thanks for listening. What else? The big signing of the past couple weeks, we signed Fiddle. Zach, have you heard about Fiddle?
Yeah, I received a couple of texts like, who is this guy? I'm like, it's not like that.
This guy, I had to write this down. This guy loves video games. That's literally what I have written in my notes. You can't get Fiddle and video games separated.
Where's he from? He's not from Cincinnati.
I'll Google. We gotta look this up. Fiddle FIFA player. That sounds funny.
He's where the fuck they say he's from?
Are you saying like another country?
No,
Oh.
Northern Ohio somewhere.
He was PSG's official player. It says he's from the United States.
Oh, okay.
Total prize money earned $11,000. Hey Fiddle, get those stats up, baby.
Only 3 tournaments. That seems pretty good.
This guy has a great name, Gordon Fiddle Thornsberry. Sounds like he definitely could have been my great uncle. We did have a great uncle named Gordon, so actually. Also, not in or out, still stuck in purgatory, Mario Deplang. I've searched his name on Twitter a few times. Folks, there's no new information. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dalton just threw an interception. It's already 21-0. I'm going to go ahead and... It was pretty funny. Let me go ahead and turn this off for a second. Busy talking about Deplang. Zach, are you getting the nervous energy like Deplang might not be coming, even though we haven't signed anybody?
It feels a lot like there's Alexis Sanchez on deadline day. Said he thought they had him, and then picks United. Are we going to be City?
In that instance, maybe not the worst case scenario. Yeah, I wrote this here. I've come to an acceptance that I feel like we're going to bring 10 million of our USL guys based on everything, and they're going to have substantial roles on this team. That's just what I'm feeling. I guess we do have, expansion drafts, stuff like that, but I've kind of just accepted that we're going to suck. I think we'll be better than Minnesota was that one year, but I'm kind of happy. I'm excited to see some of our USL guys get trounced. I think it'll be exciting for 1 year, and if your blood doesn't get pumping at the thought of Corbin Bones scoring a goal against the Colorado Rapids. Is that their name? I'm questioning it all of a sudden.
I don't know. Well, you have to get excited about it because
you don't have a choice.
That's the way it's going to be. It's like when Taylor found out she was pregnant, and I was like, I cry myself to sleep every night and be like, I'm going to have a kid, so I might as well just be happy about it.
It is the Colorado Rapids. Never had any doubts. But yeah, so I mean, that's really all. Kenny Walker we kind of knew, but then we had a hunch that he was going to stick around for a role with the team.
Yeah, our inside source told us that. Are they full of shit now?
God, we still have a lot to plow through, guys. Let's see. Fiddle, Matthew Deplang. But yeah, that's all in or out. It's not a very exciting one this week, but December's coming. Roster moves are coming. So it's going to come fast and furious, folks. So when you need the late breaking news, come to us. once a week. I'm sure we'll have it. Right
I don't
up
have.
to date.
I've kind of been avoiding the Reddit and Twitter. Honestly, our internet fans make it hard for me to like the team. So the more I avoid it, the better.
Well, not much has happened. Not much. But for this week's
FCC Inside Source.
folks, the inside source is me right now. If you want clues as to what our first home kit will look like, all I'll say is look to the facade. This isn't even like slightly beating around the bush. Look to the facade of the FCC team store. Take a gander. It might just be inspirational.
FCC Inside Source.
But I don't know. That's just what I'm feeling.
But you do know.
Possibly. I've never seen it myself. I don't want to go that far, but that's my inspiration. And that's this week's exciting
FCC Inside Source.
inside source. That's right. For this week's FCC players, they're just like us. We'll just go through real quick what the guys are up to in the off season. Are they in or out? We don't know, but what we do know is what they're doing. First up, Paddy Bard. He's back in Ireland, folks. He can't get enough. He's attending weddings, looking merry, having a great old time. Zach, have you seen Paddy in Ireland?
Indeed,
Virtually.
I have. Yes.
Can you believe it?
I was thinking yesterday, like, this guy going to a lot of weddings.
Must be wedding season in Ireland.
Exciting stuff.
But he has posted a few pictures of him, FCC related pictures.
Yeah.
He's not a guy who's he hasn't cut the cord. That's for sure. So if your theory is he's coming back, he hasn't done anything to disprove that yet.
That is my theory.
Corbin Bone, Zach, have you seen this? Gallivanting around Italy with his lady, already living that MLS wine and cheese lifestyle. Have you seen it?
I have.
Where's the baby?
Must have gotten a hell of a bonus.
Corbin bonus. Arvidas Sabonis. Many of you don't know, but I've been to Italy. I've been to several of the same places he has, and they're a bit overdone at this point. Passé, if you would. I've been to Milan. Wasn't for me. He looked like he's having they're both fashionistas, so maybe they experienced it a little different than me. I was wearing cargo shorts when I was in Milan. Did not get invited to any runways. Strangely enough, though I was quite tan, quite handsome. Zach, ever been to Italia?
No. I had a choice between Greece and Italy, and I went to Greece instead.
Interesting.
Very.
More of a hero versus I don't know. I can't think of a single thing they eat in Italy. Hamburgers.
I didn't really eat any Greek food, to be
Interesting.
honest. It was kind of a bust. We'll talk about it later.
I had some lasagna. What else? Some carbonara. I stayed in Bologna for a few days. I had no bologna, so get that out of your head. Richie Ryan, Zach, did you see this? Back in Florida, saw a video of him walking down canal area, and he took a video of a big ass iguana just waddling along. Folks, only in Florida or some other place they have iguana. Zach, did you see that iguana video?
Yeah, crazy, man.
Did you also notice that Richie Ryan happened to be with baby in tow? So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's my father of the year. Looks like we have a new starting midfielder. Emery Welshman, you won't believe this, folks. He's back in Canada. Probably. I just wrote down the word hockey. I don't know what I was, if I was referencing something. This guy's probably playing hockey. Oh, Zach, you had to have seen this. Declan Kanan. Folks, he's been mostly still in town. What does it mean? Is he an in guy? I thought we were done with Declan. Maybe his kids are loving school in Blue Ash, and he's really feeling it. He doesn't want to leave yet. But I saw he attended a UC men's basketball game and last night a Timberwolves game in Minnesota. My conclusion, Declan likes basketball. Zach, have you seen this? Do you think it means anything?
If he's still here, I think it means they're stringing everybody along.
Fuck, man. Nazmi, we'll talk about him in Potpourri. That's what I wrote. Hoyt, he was in Miami for a Heat game. Oh my God. There's so many basketball fans on this team. I love it. Michael LaHood, he was in California. This guy was all over the place. He's a real jet setter, Zach, wouldn't you say?
I would.
LaHood. Don't try to pin him down. You can't, especially for a playoff spot. He was banished to the stands. Zach, any other thoughts for FCC players? They're just like us. Anything I forgot? I mean, I missed half the players, but I can't keep track of them all. Spencer Ritchie's been rather quippy on Facebook. Not Facebook. Adorable. Twitter. He's really getting his jokes off.
I don't know. I think Evan Newton's wife was rapping in the car today. So there's that.
Interesting.
Remember him?
No. Is that Evan Village's backup? Evan Village. Spencer Village. Did you see Spencer say he loves starting his morning off with the venti water from Starbucks? This guy. Oh, man. Love to have that humor back. But for this week's edition of
Potpourri,
our man Nazmi Al-Badawi, or is it Al-Badawi? Folks, we may never settle it. Got called up by Palestine to play, proceeded to score a goal in his first game against Pakistan, and I looked it up. Pakistan is very pro-Palestine, so really both teams were winners. Zach, how do you feel for our man Nazmi?
Yeah, good for him. Great.
A little odd they haven't announced his signing yet when we already assumed he was part of the team.
Yeah, well, there's people posting, and they might be right, that multi-year contract was only a USL one, but I have a hard time believing that.
Especially when, I feel like in the team's mind,
Yeah.
they were already MLS bound. But can you sum up your thoughts on Israel-Palestine in 2 words? I figure, what possible damage could you do with 2 words?
Boycott Israel.
Wow, perfect time for a fart. Do with that what you will. Some other interesting tidbits I noticed. They announced the USL Best 11. I mean, this was weeks ago, folks, but, we've been kind of out of the spectrum. USL Best 11, Second Best 11, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and we basically swept the awards. But what I noticed, they did the Best 11. They had a video of Steck interviewing Lasso, Corbin Bone, and Ledesma, and they got this gray backdrop. Everyone's looking a certain way. And then they announced about a week later or whatever that Ledesma's MVP, he's in the same setup with Steck, but he just has a different shirt on. They do the same thing with Lasso. They're interviewing him about Defensive Player of the Year. He's looking exactly the same. He changed his shirt. But in the early videos, they don't show Steck. Interesting. Didn't want to waste a dress, did they? Corbin Bone, they interviewed him for being on the all best second team of USL, rocking his mustache. And then they announced Corbin Bone signing with the MLS team. Guess what? He's looking exactly the same, but he changed his shirt. Zach, my conspiracy, of which is of zero importance, they filmed all of these videos the same fucking day, and they're passing them off as different days by having these guys change their shirts. Check it out yourself if you think I'm lying. So they already knew Corbin Bone was signing. I mean, we know it. We announced it months ago. So they already know Lasso's coming. That's been announced by The Athletic. Former friend Jeff Reuter, now enemy. Zach, are you feeling a certain way about the wool getting pulled over our eyes with these Steck videos?
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way as you, and I think you're definitely right. If there's one thing we know, week to week, Corbin Bone's not going to look the same.
That is the most known. And the fact they don't show, for the first series of videos, they don't show Steck, but then they do in the later ones, leads me to believe they were like, well, we can't. I mean, she can't just throw a hoodie on over her thing. She's got her one fancy outfit. I don't even remember what she was wearing. I think she was in a full kit. She's stepping over while talking.
This is the good stuff.
Yeah. Just wait till I put my conspiracies to good use. But for now, guess what? Steck, if you're listening, which I know you are, we're on to you. Quit trying to fuck with our heads.
I liked, so Ledesma wins USL MVP.
Yes.
Rightfully so, if you ask me. And then all of the replies are Cameron Lancaster got robbed, which, fair enough. I don't agree, but I understand.
We'll agree next year when we sign him to FCC.
Yeah, true. There was some FC Cincinnati fan like, what records did he break? And everyone's like, the fucking goal scoring record. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about.
Usually the worst fans are the loudest, except for us.
We're great.
We've got the soapbox. But yeah, look forward to having you, Cameron Lancaster.
Yeah, I'll take him.
We get first dibs on any lower league team.
Yeah, sign him up.
Yeah, might as well. Even if it's just to Piss off Louisville. What have they won? So the Gary excitement and backlash has really set in. Our own Nick from Soccer has recoiled slightly at Gary's popularity. With something like this, you can't control who co-ops it, Nick. It's going to be some real losers chanting Gary, and you're just going to have to accept it. Zach, are you already over our Lord and Savior, Gary Christ?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Then if you haven't bought your Gary shirt, you got about a week left. Hit up the internet. House Gary. Moving right along, Zach, field turf's down in Newport. Wow. Freud. I put down field turf in I almost said it again. Why am I doing that? In Newford. I think I want to say Newtown. Basically the same thing. Fernando Adi already fantasizing about wearing a full tracksuit on the sideline while he watches the rest of the team practice on this new field turf. Zach, are you fucking stoked?
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Moving right along, soon after the news or the leak happened of the new logo, I saw an old friend rival on FC Cincinnati Reddit named FC Cincinnati. You won't believe this, folks, but this guy's real into German stuff. I saw him on Reddit complaining. He deleted a lot of stuff, but he basically said, well, the only thing German about our crest that they claimed actually was that it was a German kind of inspired font, a Bavarian font, and he was like, really? This is it? So I replied to him. It was 7 months ago. We had a back and forth about the Germanness of Cincinnati because of the this is when they announced we were going to be Foosball Club Cincinnati. After the branding thing, they announced that we will not be called Foosball Club Cincinnati. So for all intents and purposes, Foosball Club Cincinnati is dead. So I replied to him. I said, oh, hey, Foosball Club Cincinnati is dead. I had to wait 7 months to dunk on you, but it was well worth it. And he had some fucking long paragraph.
Not petty at all, but
I'm still at 1 point, so nobody, either the upvotes and downvotes have evened out or people just ignored my thing. But it felt really good. And then he said some stuff about what he said. It appears you got what you wanted. Why the need to, quote, dunk on me? Why the need to refer to an online disagreement we had 7 months ago that obviously left a stronger impression on you than it did on me? It appears you are the one who's, quote unquote, too close to this issue and that you're motivated by an anti-German bias. So true. Who gives a fuck? Anyways.
First off, can I say I love when someone writes a whole fucking novel to tell you that you care about it more than they do.
I know. I thought of mine instantly. Okay. I got a steel trap when it comes to Reddit douchebags. And FC Cincinnati, you're at the top of my list. I think what bothered me the most is some of his old posts had so many upvotes, like 40, like, yeah, Germany. And I was like, I hate this. So then some guy on Reddit implied that you wouldn't be allowed to use Football Club Cincinnati or you'd get in trouble for using it. And this guy named Kraut Natty, get these fucking Germans out of here. He said, I took the message to mean that fans are not allowed to use foosball, but the name is football when referencing the team. I'm half German. I'm half Irish. Fuck you, bitch. Ancestry.com. One cannot limit language as such, so I will say it all the time. Will I be fined for doing so? I'm not an Anglophile. I said, yes, you will. DM'd you the address to send your fines. So he's since deleted it, I just found. Like, luckily, the screenshots never lie. So I said that, and you know who came sliding on in was FC Cincinnati. Here's what he says. Folks, hold on to your fucking lederhosen. He said, whatever. Obviously, you, Morosky, that would be a school board member and seatmate of mine, Mike Morosky, and the rest of the LGBTQ crusade are bitterly disappointed there were no rainbows or rainbow colors on the new shield. Perhaps you'll get your wish during Pride Month. Whoa, baby. I think that's the definition of coming out of left field. But does he know I sit next to Mike Morosky? Has he been stalking me? Who really cares? FC Cincinnati. So anyways, some people were, including me, responded to him. Kraut Natty jumped back in. He said he actually didn't bother me with his comment. We all know who attends DAP. What?
It's like, really? You think my brother went to college?
I didn't even know, like, is he implying me? Is he implying the people who designed the logo? Like, what the fuck is he talking about? And I said, we're just finding little bigots in every part of this right now, huh? And then Kraut Natty dropping the hammer said, nah, we're just finding all kinds of PC love fest, social justice warriors, and Antifa wannabes who have no idea what a fascist is. For those who support Antifa, a fascist is a socialist, and so are they. Get off your high horse. Baby, at this point, I am loving it. I was bathing in this stuff. Clearly, FC Cincinnati. I don't know if he's an Anglophile like Kraut Natty, but he must have thought better about stuff eventually. He deleted it all. But if that isn't reason enough to be stoked that we don't have German stuff, just for these two fuckheads,
No,
really, what else? That's reason enough.
That a fascist is a socialist quote is part of the anthem of the alt-right at all times. So we found you out.
Yeah. So KRAUTNATI. Look him up. This guy's an Anglophile bitch. And
Also, if you were PC, you would not be shouting bitch at all times on this podcast. And, I think our dad gets worried that someone's going to find us and fight us. But Kraut Natty, I'll
and I've looked at FC Cincinnati's other posts. I mean, this guy.
Yeah,
he's a fucking loser.
fucking scum. And this is what other cities like fucking Detroit, they look at our fan base and they see, because I've seen a lot of this shit on Twitter and it's embarrassing.
And Kraut Natty, I'm still waiting for those fine checks to come rolling.
Yeah, you're one of the worst. So fuck you guys. I know how lame it is to just like recite an online argument on this podcast, but I don't give a fuck.
Honestly, it's the best part of the podcast.
Yeah, you guys can all fucking go fuck yourself, and anyone who thinks like you can go fuck yourself.
But it's gonna be exciting next year.
Huge.
We got
I'm not, but
next year, I don't know if you've read about NYCFC. They have a nice scattering of alt-right fans of their own. They look like some scary dudes.
who?
NYCFC.
Oh, yeah,
I'm sure you read about that.
Dumbass.
Yeah, so hopefully we don't have to worry about any of that stuff personally, but I've been watching the build up to this Copa Libertadores and FC Dallas or Colorado Rapids when you come into town. I just know what to expect. We know all the hotels when you're coming in from downtown Hyatt. When you see one fan throwing bottles at the bus, it's me. Because there's no bigger game.
We bleed orange and blue.
Especially when the Dynamo come to town. That's when I get fucking real serious. Actually, when the logo thing dropped and Jeff Ruder said, "This is the worst one in the league," and I was like, ready to murder. I went off about like Houston Dynamo and how much they sucked. Their logo sucked. And this guy was like, "Why is everyone being so mean about Houston Dynamo?" This Dynamo fan. And that was the first time in a long time I felt bad about anything. I was like, damn. I was like, hey man, it's nothing personal. And then we had a couple back and forth. So whoever you are, Dynamo fan, I'm glad we could cool things out, because it got pretty heated there for a second. I'm just talking about your EMLS logo. I'm not talking about the team, because clearly who gives a fuck about your team? Am I right? Yeah. Anyways, lastly, the Carolina Challenge Cup coming up, and we'll be playing Columbus in the preseason. Will I catch you down in Charleston?
Hell no.
Okay. But I will say about Columbus, it didn't take long, but now that they're saved, I really want these guys to suffer. Just turn real quick. They are partially owned by the Browns, and I hope they become the Browns of the MLS. I have zero sentimentality left, and I know a lot of you people still do, because I see what you say out there. I do not. I'm ready for them to die 100 deaths. A report came out saying they'll put $150 million towards a new stadium while they look for $100 million from the city. Oh, baby. For that, I say good luck to that. Really, so much has happened. Nothing has happened. Basically, Corbin Bones signed. But look at us, 40 minutes later.
What a week.
Digging up shit from weeks ago. Kraut Natty thought he was safe. Big fan of the podcast. Didn't know the Burning Bison was the Burning Bison. Fuck you, bro. I just signed up for DAP. And I might get a boyfriend on the side. I don't care what my wife says. Just to really fuck with you further. Me and my LGBTQ homies. Zach, you were going to say something important.
I don't know what I was going to say. Now I just want to run around giving hand jobs in the Bailey to make people uncomfortable.
Queen City Mafia, we're coming for you first. So whip them out if you got them. Final thoughts. Expansion draft coming up real soon. And apparently tomorrow teams have to announce who they're not re-signing and stuff like that. So we'll have actual information. Worthy of a podcast? Most likely not. But you never know. Zach, final sentence before we move on. Anything you want to say to Kenny Walker, who's listening through his tears right now?
Jesus.
Doesn't have to be profound.
Yeah, I got nothing really.
Thanks for the memories.
Yes, I'm a little sad.
Kenny Walker.
Goal of the year. Can't take that away.
Did they give him goal of the year?
I don't know, but it was.
It was the goal of the year. If only it wasn't in an empty Ottawa stadium.
It's true.
Before I go, let me turn on the TV. Let's see if the Bengals have come back from 21 down to tie this bad boy up at halftime. Nope.
Jesus
It's now
Christ.
28-0. God. On the upside, maybe we'll finally get Marvin out of here. I did see a report that don't count out Hugh Jackson for next in line for the Bengals head coaching job. They say you can't fail upwards. You can. My final thoughts. Shout out to you, Kung Fu Kenny Walker. Zach, say a word.
Peace.
Didn't sound like you at all. First place forever. Rise together.
Amelia, what's up?
Holler.